and I'm going to talk to you about the new gTLD program, which for many of us is a twice in a lifetime event. Now there's some people that this may only be a first in the lifetime event, but for those of us who have been around this industry for a while, it definitely is a second time around. So, start off with a line or a verse from a song which sums up the new gTLD program perfectly. When you say it's going to happen now, brackets, I can, well, what exactly do you mean? I've seen to have already waited too long and all my hope is gone. I would give £1 if anybody can tell me what that's from, that song. But I guess that some of you are too young and others aren't cultured enough in British music to know it is the Smiths, How Soon Is Now. But it actually sums up really well the new gTLD program and the fact that a lot of us have been waiting for years and years and years. Well, now it's almost touching distance. The program starts in April next year, and my presentation for the next 15-20 minutes is about how ready we all are for it. The one thing that's consistent is that time keeps on moving forward. So let me take back to 1998. An organisation called ICANN is created to oversee the names and numbering on the internet. But what else did we have in 1998? We had Tamagotchis, the little digital pets. We had MP3 players that were the size of the brick in your pocket where you could listen to one album. IBM's Deep Blue, the chess-playing computer that was artificial intelligence. Who would have known back then? Google was formed. Britney Spears was what Taylor Swift could have been. The Star Report was published. Oh my God, we've got a president in the US who's doing some things wrong. Where would that go? And the Spice Girls broke up. They said Viva Forever and they disappeared. Let's go forward 14 years. The new gTLD program. We now have Instagram. Gangnam Style is our favorite style of dancing, apparently. We have the Hunger Games. The Mayan apocalypse says the world is going to end. Spoiler, it didn't. The Spice Girls made their last ever performance. If you want to know, it was at the O2 here in London. So, what next? 2026, we're going to have a new gTLD launch again. So it's taken 14 years for ICANN to go from being created to expanding the internet. It's now taken us another 14 years to get to a point where we're going to expand again. Now we have advanced AI, not just AI, we have advanced AI. We have augmented reality, we have 5G, real-time diagnostics help us solve any problem. We have self-driving cars. For those who have been to San Francisco and been in one, it's quite scary. Data is the new oil, and apparently next year the Spice Girls are going to tour again. The world isn't going to end. But what's going to happen next? Well, we don't know when round 3 is going to be, which is why we need to be ready for round 2. Round 3, we could have hoverboards, we could have brain computers, Web 4, more wearable technology, and the Spice Grands are now going to make their first ever tour. The purpose of this is to say it's taken us 28 years to get to this point from when the internet really started to be organized. We do not know the next time there's going to be an opportunity after 2026 to apply for a gTLD. And that's why every company that is here today has to play a part in being ready for round 2. A rising tide floats all boats. It doesn't matter if you're a registry, a registrar, a reseller. Everyone will benefit from round 2. Let's go back 2009, when the first debates were going on about the expansion of the internet. Why did we need more TLDs? We needed to enhance competition and innovation. At that point, approximately 98% of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 character .com domains were registered. So these new organizations that were just coming into being, if they wanted a .com domain, then they didn't really have a chance. We wanted to expand consumer choice. We wanted to give the consumers the power to register new domain names. We wanted to have an internet that matched the way the world was growing. Multi-language internet access. We wanted to create a platform for secure and stable future growth, and we wanted new rights protection for brand holders. They were the 5 reasons why we wanted a new gTLD program, why the industry wanted a new gTLD program. Back in 2014, I worked for a company called NetNames, and there's still a few ex-NetNames people floating around this room today. And we co-authored this report, Internet 2020, where we put on our thinking caps and we made predictions as to what the internet would look like in 2020. And this was 2 years after the gTLD program had started. And at this point, I'm going to distance myself, my boss at the time, Gary McElraith, CEO, lovely guy, predicted new gTLDs would overtake .coms by 2020. He's now retired and lives in Australia. He's not made his money from being a digital evangelist. We also said that the internet would fragment. It would fragment into communities of interest. We would see more IDN domain names registered than standard ASCII domain names. And we would see dotBrands become the most important tool for enterprise clients in the digital world. 1 or 2 of those may have missed the mark, I think. But we're still here. We still have an internet. We're still talking about some of these things. So if we think about that report and the 5 reasons why we needed a new set of domain names, if this was a school report, how would we rate it? Advanced competition and innovation, C. We've not really seen innovation through domain names yet. Now, there is an argument to say that Web3 is starting to bring some more innovation into the market. Did it expand consumer choice? Yes, it did. If you are interested in horses, you can register a .horse. If you are interested in epitaphs, you can register .rip. They're there for anyone to register. If you happen to like a spirit, you can register a .vodka, but not a .gin yet. Facilitating multi-language internet access, C. We have some IDNs, we don't have enough, and we've not really taken the advantage of the 2 billion increased internet users across the world since 2012. Creating a platform for secure and stable future growth. B+. The internet is more stable today. It's more secure today. And that's fantastic because everyone benefits from that. And finally, making sure I don't fall off the stage, introducing new rights protection mechanisms for brand holders. It's a B. We have blocking products today. We have the trademark clearinghouse today. We have much better capabilities to monitor and measure infringing domain names. So overall, a bit of a mixed bag. But what's happened since 2012? Who have been the winners? Registry operators, definitely a winner. They've done really well. They've seen their TLDs, in some cases, hundreds of thousands, millions. My good friend Lars over here has seen great success from his short dot enterprise. Retail registrars, they've been a winner. They've seen more domain names and consequently resellers. Domain investors have done well as well. They've taken some of the TLDs and they've looked at how they can monetize those and spin those into the secondary market. The rights protection providers, the likes of TMCH, DPML, and now Global Block, they've provided some real strong protection mechanisms and they've benefited from it. But on the flip side, so have infringers, so have bad actors. They've been able to register in some of these new TLDs and continue to cause some pain to brand holders. So who's faced the challenges? We've already said, trademark teams trying to protect their intellectual property. IP and law firms trying to help their clients stay one step ahead. ICANN very much has faced challenges. It's been a difficult process getting to where we are today, and they've certainly had their challenges. Consumers and corporates have had challenges. Consumers and corporates have to think about what they can register and what they can't register. When can they register it? What harm will happen if they don't register? So consequently, they've had challenges, as to have registrants and corporate registrars trying to stay one step ahead of the infringers. And finally, where is there still work to do? Universal acceptance, the ability for everybody around the world to equally access the internet. DNS abuse prevention has not slowed down. Domain innovation has not really happened yet. dotBrand usage, one of the areas that I'm really passionate about, we've not really seen that yet. And equitable digital communities, going back to that prediction we made in 2014 that we would see a fragmented internet into communities of interest. That's not happened. So what's the definition of a successful TLD? If we're thinking about the second round, how do we measure success? How do we measure if one TLD is more successful than another one? Well, that depends on what lens you're looking through. So for example, innovation. Is a TLD successful if it innovates and creates brand new use cases, brand new ways in which it can be used? Is success based on a renewal rate? So a lot of TLDs may use low-cost initial registration periods, but then the real measure of success for them is how many are renewing. Consumer awareness. This again, really, really important, especially when it comes to dotBrands. dotBrand usage is about recognition. It's about consumers understanding that they're engaging with that brand and they're engaging in a new digital way. Use cases and testimonials. So if a TLD can show, here's a company that's using our TLD. So a really good example of that, XYZ obviously have Alphabet. So the parent of Google, their main domain name is abc.xyz. That is a really, really strong use case and testimonial for them. New registrations. It may be that you just managed the success of a business by how many new registrations you're getting, how many new people are registering the name. And finally, it could be based on traffic. If you launch one domain name and it gets 1 billion queries a month, is that success? Based on a peer review, I would probably say it is. But these are all different measures of a TLD. So when we're thinking about the next round, and you're thinking about the success of the next round, part of the criteria for success is going to be based on one or more of these measures. So what's different today? Or perhaps we should say what's different in 2026 from 2012. There's greater community consultation. More people have been involved in planning for the second gTLD round than the first. That is part of the reason why it's taken us 14 years, because of that greater community consultation. That is still going on today. So the rule book, the applicant guidebook that was published in May, closed for public comment in July, and there is a big team that's currently going through all those comments to try and understand which ones might want to investigate and which ones are just balmy old poppycock. New rules to prevent gaming and profiteering. I think we could all spend hours talking about gaming and profiteering in the gTLD program, but we can't for 2026 because it's not allowed. Nobody's going to be allowed to profit from making an application from a TLD. Less application complexity. So when it comes round to companies or organisations who are applying for a TLD and they have to make their application, it's going to be less. It's still going to be 150, 200 plus questions, but rather than 300 questions, it's just a little bit easier. Timelines. To ICANN's immense credit, it put a timeline, it put a stake in the ground, and as of this point, we are still working to that timeline. That's fantastic. That's given everyone clarity, everyone certainty. We know where we need to be. We know what the process is. The application fee is higher. Now, it was interesting, I listened to my former colleague Michael Riedel's presentation this morning, and he talked about the application fee. But actually, if you took the application fee from 2012 and you look at the inflation rate, the 2026 fee of $227,000 is actually less. There is also opportunities for organisations to use accounting techniques to spread the cost of a TLD application. It is a digital asset, and under accounting rules that can be treated in a way in which it can be amortized or depreciated over time. So actually the application fee becomes a lot less. ICANN have also said that if there is 1,000 plus applications, there will be a rebate. We don't know how much, and we don't know what the scale of that is, but we do know that that could bring the price down. There are brands, trends, keywords that didn't exist in 2012. We know that some of those will become applicants in the next round. TikTok, Stripe, Uber didn't exist in 2012. I would imagine all three of those will probably be seriously thinking about applications for the next round. There is a more robust and developed rights protection mechanism. Global Block is now seen as the de facto measure. It's robust. It includes nearly 700 TLDs in their program, and more will join up with that. And finally, we have a decade of wisdom. Most of us, a decade of wisdom. And that helps when we start thinking about that application round next time. Now, demand is today and tomorrow, not yesterday. So, I asked my 22-year-old daughter to give me some keywords, some names, some things that she uses in everyday vocabulary. Well, maybe not every day. And then I looked at them, and here's a list. So I may be giving this away to potential TLD applicants, but here's my list of 14 TLDs that you could apply for next year. Write them down quickly, take photos quickly, because I'm going to move on. So, what should you, me, we, us, all be doing today? We should be awareness. We should be ensuring that the people we work with are aware of the timelines and opportunities. It doesn't matter if you are a potential registrant, if you are a registrar, a reseller, a registry, or anyone associated with this industry, you need to be aware of what the timeline of the process is and what the opportunities could be for your organization. You need to know the value of what you're doing and what you can bring to your customers and when you need to do that. You need to be an advocate. You need to understand who are the champions within your organization who are going to spread the message, who are going to drive this forward. And finally, you need to understand the impact. What the impact of the second round will have on you and your company, and ensuring that you have the resources in place to handle that. So, my takeaways. 6 takeaways. Number 1, the clock is ticking. We know it's April next year. We know that application window will be a maximum of 15 months. Number 2, you need to be your own marketing machine. I can do a great job. They try and push the message out, but we all need to be pushing it out as well. We need to be doing our bit. Number 3, one of my favorite phrases, get big, get niche, get out. What are you doing differently? If you haven't got volume on your side, if you're not the biggest player, then you need to be thinking about how you can market and how you can bring a message to your clients that's different. Number 4, no alarms, no surprises. Make sure everyone is aware. Make sure your customers are aware. In 2012, when I was at NetNames, we had 2 global brands contact us less than 24 hours after the window closed because their CEOs had found out about this new dotBrand thing and wanted to apply. They were willing to pay, one of them, hundreds of thousands of pounds as a gift to whoever to get an application through. That doesn't exist. When that window shuts next year, it shuts. And finally, price is only an issue in the absence of value. You need to show the value. You need to show the value to your organization, to your customers, to your internal teams. Take away the issue of that price tag. Again, without reverting back to 2010 lyrics, Katy Perry did sing "Forget About the Price Tag," and that's really important in this case. Don't get hung up on the price tag. So finally, 2026, the second round. In the race for digital sovereignty, the use of a new gTLD is not just a domain name, it's a declaration of digital independence. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take any questions now, depending on when the next session is, or around. Yes? So the process is that every applicant has the opportunity to submit an alternate string. And let's say, for example, you were both applying for headphones. On the reveal day, which is going to be at some point in August next year, it's revealed that applicant A has applied for headphones, applicant B has applied for headphones. You'll then have a 2-week period to decide whether you want to stay in a contention set and go to the next resolution phase, or to swap to your alternate string. So you might decide that you're going to apply for microphone instead. If you both decide that you're going to stay for headphone, then you go into the ICANN resolution process that ultimately will be an auction. Cool. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you. Hello. Oh. I guess you won't be able to tell I have gum in the photo, right? Thank you all for being here. I hope it's been informative and helpful. Did Stuart introduce the team? Stand up, say your name. Yeah. Always good when your team can come as well, eh? Lars is just, we're sorting out some technical difficulties with his fabulous presentation, which he submitted on time and on point. So we apologize. So I always wonder, David, your notes. I don't take good notes at these conferences. Do you? Well, you look so diligent that I think I should read your notes. Oh. All right. We're a creative crowd, I think, so